You had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
yes,
in mind?
I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68.
Like people heard this and were like, "Oh, dude, you're silly. Like it plays well to the moderate, blah blah blah." And it's like no room for capitulating. The Republicans actively polarize the country against the Democrats, and then the Democrats run towards the Republicans. I don't understand why they do this. You are running against a Republican. You are a fucking Democrat. Shut the fuck up. Why? Why are you saying this? It doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. Like people are like, "Oh, it'll be a bullshit position. Oh, it's great. It plays well to the moderates or whatever." It's like, dude, what are you talking about? You're a goddamn Democrat. Stop making excuses for the fucking psychotic Republican Party. What the fuck is wrong with you? So no bipartisanship? What are you talking about, dude? Live in the real world. There is no bipartisanship. Bipartisanship is a code word for Republican agenda. What is that? Where's the bipartisanship? Bipartisanship does not mean you are pushing a right-wing bill written by Republicans that will enact the Republican agenda, but you're a Democrat pushing it, so all of a sudden it's automatically bipartisan. And it doesn't make sense that you're smiling and thinking fondly about the idea of like a Republican in your cabinet. Every other moment when you're running up against the Republican Party, you're openly communicating that these guys are demons, that they took away your abortion rights, that they literally are doing Project 2025. So that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. You're like, these guys are all trying to create this incredibly complex system that will destroy the regulatory agencies. They want to do Project 2025. They want to do checkpoints for abortion in states so they can catch people doing interstate travel. And then you're like, but some of them are very nice and I would like them to be a part of my cabinet. Like, what are you saying? This question is also never really presented to the Republicans, by the way. They asked fucking Joe Biden this question. They asked Hillary Clinton this question. They asked Obama this question. They all did it. They all also, to a certain degree, will either keep the Republicans that were appointed, put Republicans in the cabinet. It's like the Republicans never do that shit. Where's the goddamn Democrat in the Republican leadership? Where's the goddamn Democrats in the Republican cabinets? As a matter of fact, they literally are so far right, sometimes they call the Republicans in their existing cabinet Democrats or rhinos.
8 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion.
I think she's just trying to stop the vitriol and bring people together, which I hope is something that can happen, but she's not doing it the right way. No, there is no stopping the vitriol and bring people together. This is a dumbass fucking argument. You know who else tried to do that? Joseph Robinette Brandon. And they said he was either brain broken, which he was, and an doddering old fool, or when he was able to fucking get the drug cocktail correct and actually had like a solid speech, they would say he's scary and is calling the rest of the country animals and fascists, which they are. FDR brought the country together by beating the Republicans into the fucking dirt. Exactly. Also, diversity of opinion is insane. For a Democratic presidential nominee to say diversity of opinion is crazy to me, okay? The diversity of opinion never includes any kind of actual fucking socialists or any kind of actual leftist attitudes, okay? It only goes far right. The same principle behind free speech, okay? They love saying free speech only when it's Nazis.
I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump.
Okay.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of
When's she going to start talking about Israel, man?
your identity.
Yeah.
And he,
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Oh, by the way, banger. That was a banger, okay? Props where props is due, okay? Kamala Harris does not step on these fucking landmines at all. Straight up. She doesn't play that game. I really respect that. That is actually one of the things that she has actually deviated away from the Hillary Clinton style of campaigning that I do appreciate. I think like the Joseph Robinette Brandon method kind of forced the Democratic Party's hand into like dropping the fucking identity shit. Like no more I'm with her, no more fucking glass ceilings nonsense, no more like, oh, he's attacking me. I said this before. They should never do that. They should never talk about that unless it is directly about tangible policies, okay?
President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Is it a lot of people on the progressive left? Because last time I checked, all polling shows that it's not just people on the progressive left. It is literally the entirety of the Democratic Party's base of support. Okay? 80% of Democrats want to push for a ceasefire and do so by denying weapons transfers. Okay? There is a majority of moderates who want the same thing. Okay? The idea that this is a progressive left issue from Dana Fash is ridiculous. Is ridiculous fucking framing. Ridiculous framing. Let's hear what she has to say here. We might not like it. No, I already know. I listened to this last night live. I fucking hated it. It was awful.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But let's take a step back. October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival.
Oh.
As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would.
You should have said Israel had a right to defend itself, not the way that it is right now. That would have been a banger. That would have actually cut away from Biden in a very meaningful way. If she said Israel had a right to defend itself on October 7, which it fucking completely gave up on, you know, unleashing new layers of hell upon Palestinian children, again, door knocking, okay? I'm out there. I'm out there, baby. And there's still plenty of shit that I disagree with her on.
And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to...
Do you think Kamala handled that question well, given the pressure of AIPAC? Fuck no. Kamala Harris is doing a horrible job with this. This is like one of her weakest fucking angles, in my opinion. What the fuck is AIPAC, bro? What are we doing? A foreign lobby is supposed to be holding us at gunpoint, like holding our politics hostage? Get the fuck out of here.
A deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end.
And in the meantime,
and we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out. I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
but no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done.
Now, of course, Dana is not going to fucking press the issue further because she got what she wanted. She got what she wanted. Ironic, however, this is worst possible way to answer this question. Time is running out in terms of forcing Israel to come to terms with the ceasefire deal that has been in place for months at this point. Time is also running out in terms of Kamala Harris separating herself from this losing issue. Joe Biden has been objectively unpopular on this. Donald Trump was beating Joe Biden by double digits on the issue of Israel. He benefits quite a bit from not having to be the president presiding over the situation. And that is precisely the reason why people make up their own opinions. People project their own opinions onto what Donald Trump will do in terms of Israel, okay? This does not mean that people are like excited at the prospect of like increasing the pressure valve of increasing the pressure of genocide on the Palestinian population. There are plenty of Republicans who do want that, but by and large, there are plenty of people who literally look to what Biden is doing and see that it is unconscionable and think maybe Trump will be different. They are daring to dream, okay? They're wrong, but that's not how people fucking operate, okay? This is not how they make this political calculation. Seeing all of that and seeing the polling that shows that people do want this to end consistently for the past 6-7 months at this point, Kamala Harris has to break away from the Biden administration. She has to. Now, I know this is not top of mind for a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans care more about the economy than they do about Israel-Palestine. But there are plenty of people who do care about it. And every time she goes on the record in public, whether it be a campaign stop or whether it be this interview, every single time she fucking comes out and runs towards Joseph Robinette Brandon and his failure to deal with this fucking genocide, she ends up losing more support on this issue while simultaneously reminding everybody that it's still ongoing and that she's riding with Biden on it. New Morning Consult, Bloomberg News poll, Wisconsin +9, Pennsylvania, Harris up by 3 points, Nevada, Harris up by 4, 50%, Georgia, Harris up by 3, Michigan, Harris 49 to Trump's 47%, up by 2. This is a good ass poll, by the way. This is the first time she's been pressed on the arms embargo directly, I think. Exactly. All of this, with the exception of Wisconsin, is in a margin of error, within a margin of error. All the while, Israeli military launches a fatal airstrike on humanitarian aid convoy in Gaza. All the while, there is consistent polling that shows that in swing states, she would be picking up voters and losing none if she were to change trajectory, if the administration was to change trajectory on Israel, and if she were to at least communicate that she's willing to change trajectory on Israel. Kamala Harris just stated far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed, yet she won't withhold U.S. weapons to Israel. A new poll suggests Democrats would gain swing state votes by changing policy and withholding weapons. The YouGov IMEU policy project poll found that over a third of voters in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia are more likely to vote for a Democratic nominee who pledges to withhold weapons to Israel. Understand that I've been saying this for months now. There is not a single person that is a likely Democratic Party voter that literally is saying permanent in Gaza or else I'm no longer supporting the Democratic Party. There are, however, hundreds of thousands of Americans who are like, if you stop the genocide, I will vote for you. The fact that these guys are going after fucking Nikki Haley voters and like what they perceive as like the Adam Kinzinger vote, okay, which is like 8 total fucking people, and completely casting aside hundreds of thousands of fucking voters in key states is mind-boggling.